Hi, halo semua. How are you? The only thing that I can think of right now is the word welcome. Selamat datang. As this is, another form that Hangat Dharma will be taking. A little, like longer duration, like casually vulnerable form, to tell those Hangat Dharma stories. And if you're still listening right now, thank you. Um, so yeah, look. This may or may not be your first encounter with a Hangat Dharma project, so I would like to introduce myself, weirdly. My name is Rizky Dharma. I am a graphic designer by day and a creative vigilante by night, as you can see. And I love stories. I love reading stories. I love watching them. I love listening to them, creating them, writing songs about them, drawing them. I just love stories. And Hangadharma is one of the many ways for me to tell those stories that I found in my life. And before I proceed, if you're watching this in a video form, I have this phone that I now have little notes and everything. So every now and then my eyes are gonna lock into the phone because I can't remember anything. But yeah, again, so I'm gonna start reading or like talking to you about Hangat Dharma. Look, Hangat Dharma wasn't something that I particularly started for like I made for like a content format or anything. It begins as the only way that I would ever end anything. Let's say, an email or a job proposal, or like anything, like including my writings. And I've made a lot of things ever since I was a kid. It could be as simple as a little comic project or a drawings or a little songs that I have when I was in the shower, or I don't know, little events or like anything that I wanted to at the time. And I always wanted something that is stamped on me, like how Sonic has, a catchphrase, or like Batman has the no kill rule, or like Spider-Man has the, with great power comes great responsibility, or that one YouTuber with that, like catchy intro that, everyone can get out of their head. So yeah, I always wanting that, that is like stamped on me. And yeah, look, granted, I tried a lot of things, and lots of them failed, like that one YouTube intro I tried to do as a kid, that very cringe one. And I don't know. And look, uh, the things that I tried, a few of them sticks. Maybe it could be like a quote that I repeat to my friends over and over again, or it could be something that I do when certain things happen. I'd like to scream a certain way. Like some things stick, like they're kind of stamped on me, but nothing sticks like this one. Nothing sticks like Hangat Dharma does. How it came to be. What is hangat, anyways, right? It is bahasa Indonesia. It means warm, hangat. And what's so cool about warm? Well, to be honest, I don't know how this came to be. It's not a story I can like pinpoint where it was found. Um, but yeah, or at least I don't know how it sticks the way that it does right now. But what I do know is where I was inspired. See, I love Lin Manuel Miranda. He's no one special. Is just someone who made one of the coolest and probably the most iconic musicals in known ever in the like 21st century. And yeah, but he had this thing where he would always end an email with Siempre Lin. And I know that from a Thomas Kelly interview. Thomas Kelly is his best friend and the director of the musical Hamilton. And Thomas, he was telling the story about, the early meetings and conversations about the process of creating Hamilton. More specifically, the song Wait For It. And how Lynn, he, again, in those emails, Lynn always ends it with Siempre Lynn. And yeah, I just think it's very cool and unique. It doesn't matter who is emailing or what the email is about. That's his way of ending a conversation. Siempre Lin. Siempre meaning always. And Thomas Cale said that email signed off, or whatever you want to tell that last part of the email, makes him feel closer to Lynn. Like how Lynn always reminds him, how long their friendship is gonna last, which is siempre, always. And yeah, that is something that Rizky Dharma feels like. I imagine that feels very warm coming from a friend. Um, yeah, I always love that story. One, for the reason that Lin has something that is stamped on him, something that I always wanted, but also secondly, it is for the reason that it acts like some kind of doorway. Like somehow the moment they read that, they were not only just a friend of Vin Manuel Miranda's, they're someone more, someone closer. It's like this, it's like this gesture of vulnerability and openness that can be felt just from that little thing at the end of an email. And and yeah, now they know a bit more about Lin just from that tiny bit last of almost all of his emails. That I think is undeniably has a big impact how they feel towards to him. It feels like I'm spiraling, but yeah, you know what I mean. It's a doorway. Turns out that's what I wanted in the first place. A stamp, but also like a doorway in some way, not just like something. Yeah, he Risky does that, but like I wanted a doorway. And Hangat. Hangat was the word that came to mind ever since, but it wasn't like something that clicked right away. It was just something that I could came up with at the time. So yeah, but again, for months or probably even like a year or two, it I never really applied that to my life. It just became something that sits lonely in the back of my mind until a couple of years ago in 2024 there was a moment where I was writing an email to a friend of mine. And the thing is, the email, since it's like a formal kind of conversation, the email was supposed to came from an organization's account. It wasn't supposed to came from my account, not my risky account email. But again, I just wanted to show that this message, this email, this that has appreciation on it, that has very this and that and that. I wanted my friend to know that it came from me. It came from my heart. It came from my mind. It was from, it was my fingers tapping into the keyboard and poured into this email. And out of nowhere, I just wrote Hangat Dharma. And right then and there, I felt it. I felt the doorway opening. I wrote a little poem about this moment, and it's called, again, the doorway opening. It goes a bit like this: a little breeze from the other side, a beam of warmth with a tiny light, a light within, a life breathing, a light that leaks from the doorway opening. So yeah, Hangat Dharma. So I hope whenever you read or hear these two worded stamp, I hope you take it as a good thing. I hope you look at it in a good light, in a whimsical tone. For I am opening a doorway to you, to accept a warm, tiny hug from afar, with a little tiny catchphrase you'll hear, and maybe a little smile that feels near. Thank you for staying till the end. I hope you have a great day. Hangat Dharma.